Chapter 51, The territory of the Piranha Plant is destroyed. A new wild monster was discovered in Th. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, through the web of the mind, the perspective of the ant army, Mo Fei could see it clearly. In the piranha's territory, all the roots of the piranha have been eaten up by the ant army. This green plant area now has become naked. The ground was covered with the bones of various beasts. Seeing that all the piranhas were wiped out, Mo Fei snorted coldly, revenge of the 20,000 ant vanguard troops. Now, the road for the ants to go to the stone resource area is smooth. Through the spiritual network, Mo Fei sensed the injuries of his ant army. Mo Fei didn't expect it. After annihilating the piranha territory, the number of ants that died was hundreds of them. Many ants are injured, and the self-healing power is at work at this time, slowly healing their injuries. However, then I thought about it. Mo Fei quickly figured out the key. The only danger that piranha flowers can pose to their own ant tribe is actually the highly adhesive mucus secreted by their huge petals. Once stuck by their mucus, the small size and strength of the ant clan have no ability to resist. As for their thorny, movable rhizomes, the physical damage caused to their own ants is not as strong as the corrosive acid sprayed by the acid mud monster. After all, many of my own ants died directly under the strong corrosive acid spit out by the king of acid mud monsters, and even the self-healing talent had no time to take effect. As for the piranha flowers at the level, their rhizomes are also covered with sharp barbs. However, their roots can sweep away their own ants, and the injuries caused are not fatal. As for piranha flowers, they are used for hunting and can secrete sticky mucus. Under his own ant tide, he didn't even have time to devour his own ant tribe, and he was already cut off by his own ant tribe, including the stem. Certainly, this is limited to my own ant tribe. If other wild monsters stray into the piranha's territory, they won't be able to deal with the piranha's rhizomes alone. Once surrounded by the vine-like thorny roots of the piranha, even a fourth-level wild monster may be swallowed by the piranha flowers. After a short rest, the injured ant soldiers have almost recovered from their injuries. At this time, Mo Fei suddenly sensed the message from the 200 ant team previously sent to explore the granite mountain. His face changed slightly. Soldiers, there is something going on in the stone resource area. There may be a tough battle to fight later. Now, listen to my order and the army will set off immediately. Mo Fei immediately ordered, let the ant army take the injured ant soldiers and set off immediately. After giving the order, Mo Fei quickly switched his perspective to the team of 200 ants that sent the signal. A rocky mountain full of granite. Mo Fei saw it. At this time, my ant team was standing on a huge granite on the rocky mountain, and on the huge granite where the ant team is standing, there are several big holes. What's this? Mo Fei was stunned. You just said there are wild monsters on the stone mountain, hiding in these caves. Yes, Lord. The ant team replied. There is a kind of wild monster on the mountain. There are many of them. They are hiding in the holes of these rocks. How can a wild monster dig holes in such a hard granite and hide in it? Mo Fei suddenly became curious, quickly let the ant team get closer, then look into the hole. However, nothing could be seen clearly. The holes in these granites are all drilled very deep. With his eyes, Mo Fei could see that there seemed to be an animal with thick armor on its back hidden inside. As for what kind of wild monster it is, Mo Fei doesn't know yet. You just said that there are many wild monsters on the stone mountain. Are they all this kind of wild monster? Looking back, Mo Fei asked. Yes, Lord. The ant team replied, looking at the stone mountain. Many rocks have similar holes. Mo Fei fell into deep thought. Judging from the situation reported by my own ant team and the number of these holes, the granite rock mountain discovered by my own ant tribe may be the habitat of these unknown wild monsters. This is a bit difficult to handle. There are such a large number of wild monsters in the stone resource area. If the ants mine stones, they will definitely disturb these wild monsters. Mo Fei doesn't think that the ants who mine their own stone can live in peace with these wild monsters. After all, if this is really their habitat, mining the stones here is tantamount to destroying their habitat. What's more, in the piranha territory, the 20,000 ant army will learn from the past mistakes right in front of us. If these wild monsters hiding in the cave are not dealt with, Mo Fei can't safely collect the stones here. These wild monsters must not be left alone. It must be solved. But how to solve it is a big problem. Mo Fei made a decision and thought about how to deal with all the wild monsters hiding in the stone cave. According to my observation just now, the entrances of these stone caves are not big. It can probably accommodate a first-level blue wolf to crawl in. It can be inferred from this, the wild monsters hiding in the caves will not be very big. This is good news for me. However, there is a problem. If the entrance of the cave is not big, if these wild monsters are always hiding in the cave, then the numerical advantage of my ant army will be gone. With such a small hole, the number of my ant soldiers that can enter is also limited. The key is what kind of wild monsters are in the cave and what abilities they have. Mo Fei knows nothing about these. Sending your ant soldiers into the cave without knowing the opponent's strength is a very dangerous and stupid approach. So, to deal with these wild monsters, the first step is to find a way to lead these wild monsters out of the cave. So, how to lead these wild monsters out of the cave? Mo Fei thought for a moment, his eyes lit up slightly. Actually, I don't need to think about this at all. Just follow the plan and let my ant army mine stones. Mo Fei smiled slightly. Yes, I just need to make the ant army ready to fight at any time and mine stones according to the plan. Since this is the habitat of these wild monsters, mining stones here is equivalent to destroying their habitat. By then, are you still afraid that they won't come out? Window_tabula equals window_tabula .push mode thumbs feed 01 container tabula below article thumbnail 300x250 placement below article thumbnail 300 by 250 target_type mix. Chapter 52, The Ant Colony's Amazing Efficiency in Mining Stone. But Mo Fei is not satisfied. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After passing through the territory of the flower-eating plant, along the way, the 2.5 million ant army did not encounter any danger. Some first-level and second-level monsters saw the arrival of the ant army from afar and were scared away. The army walked for about an hour, finally reached the granite mountain on the top of the mountain. At this time, looking at the granite mountain in front of them, the ant army was ready to move. The third undead ant army, move out. Mo Fei gave the order, named the third army by Mo Fei. It is an army composed of all first-level undead ants, with a number of 100,000. Under Mo Fei's order, 100,000 first-level undead ants began to try to collect the huge granite in front of them. One by one, the first-level immortal ants climbed onto the stone. They opened their sharp pincers and began to collect. 10 minutes later, 100,000 immortal ants bit off some small stones from the granite. Okay, stop collecting. Seeing this, Mo Fei issued an order to stop collecting. Xin sighed slightly. Sure enough, collecting stones is still too difficult for the first-level and first-level immortal ants. There were not many surprises. After all, Mo Fei had already let the ant soldiers who discovered the stone resources try it before. With the bite force of the first-level immortal ants and the sharpness of their pincers, it took 10 minutes to leave only a shallow mark on the granite and bite off a little bit of stone chips. Although the first-level immortal ants are stronger, however, in essence, they are still ants from the ant tribe. They can bite plants with their pincers, they are not good at biting hard stones like granite. So, according to Mo Fei's plan, the main force for mining stone this time is not these first-level undead ants, but the high-level soldiers of the ant tribe, the marching ants. Next, Mo Fei gave an order, let the acid ants, marching ants, acid marching ants, slime ants and other soldiers go forward to mine stone. Sure enough, the marching ants and acid marching ants are the fastest at mining stone. The huge and hard pincers on their front jaws can easily bite off a piece of stone chips from the granite. In addition to these two ant tribe soldiers, acid ants spit out acid, which has a strong corrosive effect, and the effect of mining stone is also good. For Mo Fei, it is a small surprise. 10 minutes later, Mo Fei suddenly gave an order. Stop first. The ant army was mining in full swing and didn't know why, but they still obeyed Mo Fei's order and stopped. At this time, in the territory, through the network of the mind, looking at the ant tribe collecting 30 units of stone, Mo Fei frowned. 100,000 marching ants and acid ants, only 30 units of stone were collected in 10 minutes. Looking at the ant army mining stones, Mo Fei frowned slightly, not very satisfied. This speed is still too slow. Of course, Mo Fei knew it himself, 30 units of stone can be mined in 10 minutes, at this speed, in a day, the ant tribe can probably mine nearly 2,000 units of stone. This mining speed is actually very fast. After all, the ant tribe is not a farmer, dwarf and other soldiers who are good at mining stone. Even if the peasants, dwarfs and other soldiers are awakened, they are lords. On the first day of entering the Lord world, the number of many soldiers has not increased. Mining 2,000 units of stone a day, not many people can do it. So, Mo Fei was not satisfied, but he was not dissatisfied with the mining efficiency of the ant tribe, but with the mining speed of the ant tribe. The sun set that day. It's not enough to upgrade the territory to a high-level village with 10,000 stones. This makes Mo Fei feel uncomfortable. After all, he has already collected enough wood to upgrade the territory to a high-level village, and he still needs a bit of stone to upgrade the territory. Could it be that he can only wait until later, then take out some wood from the warehouse to exchange for stone before he can upgrade the territory? Inside the warehouse, at this time, there are 130,000 units of wood. If it is exchanged for 10,000 stones to upgrade the territory, it must be more than enough. However, looking at the granite mountain in front of him, Mo Fei is a little unwilling. It's like he originally has a piece of meat, but he can't cut it. He can only spend a high price to buy other people's cut meat. Moreover, the faces of those profiteers last night are still vivid in my mind. The exchange ratio of wood and stone, and the profiteers' stalls, is even set to 5-1. In other words, if Mo Fei wants to upgrade his territory to a high-level village, he has to spend 50,000 units of wood to exchange for 10,000 units of stone. If he can choose, who would be willing to be the victim? Mo Fei's wood is not blown by the wind. Besides, just upgrading the territory to a high-level village, for Mo Fei, there is actually not much improvement. Mo Fei still has to build barracks and the Fountain of Life to upgrade their levels. This is another considerable resource. 50,000 wood has been spent. How much wood is left to exchange for stone, and build and upgrade barracks? Think about it. Mo Fei gave up decisively and took out the idea of exchanging 130,000 pieces of wood in the warehouse for stones. If the quantity of the defective stone is not large, it will be replaced. But, now the difference in stone quantity is not just a little bit, but a full 10,000 units of stone. Now, half of the first day has passed. Even if they mine until dark, the Mo Fei ant tribe army can only mine 100 units of stone at most. Mo Fei had no intention of doing so. Let the ant tribe's army continue to stay here to mine stones when night falls. Experience the morning food and flower territory incident, with an unknown number of wild monsters of unknown levels hidden in the stone resources. Mo Fei had to be cautious. God knows, if the ants stay here at night, will there be any accidents? This is definitely a very dangerous move. Maybe, these wild monsters hiding in the cave at the moment are a kind of dark creatures. Night is the time for them to come out and move around. It's okay, you can continue mining stones. After thinking for a long time, Mo Fei couldn't think of any way to speed up the ants' collection of stone resources. We can only order the army ants to continue mining stone for the time being. 4 ant legions were left behind to monitor the surrounding situation and help move the stone mined by the army ants. Mo Fei issued orders to the remaining 18 ant legions. Soldiers, spread out in legion units. Go to the mountain and search to see if there are any broken granite stones. Bring them back. Not all stones can be collected to build the territory. Mo Fei had inspected the stones there before when the ant team passed by the food flower territory. Lord's World reminds you that those stones cannot be collected to build the territory. Certainly, maybe we can collect stone materials, not just granite, but currently Mo Fei discovered that only granite can be collected as stone. This reminded Mo Fei of those holes made by wild monsters on the stone mountain. Since these wild monsters have made holes in the rocks, then they dug holes and took out the stones. Where have you gone? If you can find these wild monsters, move them out with granite stones, then maybe, since army ants, we don't have to work so hard to collect stones. Chapter 53 Wild Monsters on the Stone Mountain, Stone-Eating Beasts. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. Stone Mountain, these unknown monsters have made so many holes. big and small. At this time, Mo Fei was also a little excited. If his ant army can find the granite stones left by these monsters, maybe before the sun sets today, he can collect 10,000 units of stone. And can his ant army find the granite stones thrown away by these monsters? Mo Fei has no doubt about it. After all, get rid of the marching ants that are currently mining stones and the 4 ant legions that are transporting stones, he still has 1.8 million ants left. This stone mountain is not very big. If there are broken granite stones on the mountain, his ant army will definitely find them. Under Mo Fei's order, 8 ant legions, with 10,000 as one, dispersed, looking for granite blocks in the stone mountain, but, then, Mo Fei was slightly surprised. Around many stone caves, his ant army did not find any broken granite blocks. Not a single one. This is unscientific. Mo Fei had seen the stone caves in the stone mountain. Judging from the width and depth of the stone caves, digging a stone cave can produce at least 500 units of granite blocks. Some deeper stone caves can even produce up to 1,000 units of granite blocks. How could they not find even one piece of granite block? Fortunately, Mo Fei's doubts did not last long. Soon, a group of ant army came to report. They found granite blocks. Mo Fei switched perspectives, came to this ant army. I saw a horizontal stone cave in front of my ant army, different from many stone caves that Mo Fei had seen before. The cave of this stone cave was filled with many granite blocks. Soldiers, crawl out and move all these granite blocks. Mo Fei immediately ordered. One by one, the ant soldiers crawled into the cave. Although they couldn't bite these stones, it was no problem for them to move these broken stones. With the cooperation of tens of thousands of ant soldiers, the stones blocking the cave were moved out one by one. Then they were passed to the ground. At the same time, the ant armies in other directions also found the caves blocked by granite blocks one after another, and sent messages to Mo Fei. Under Mo Fei's order, one by one, the ant army cooperated to move all the granite blocks they found blocking the cave. There are so many stones, at least nearly 100 units of stone, that at this time, in Mo Fei's perspective, in less than 10 minutes, the ant army in front of him had moved nearly 100 units of granite blocks out of the cave. What's more, the stones in the cave have not been moved yet, and they can continue to move. Next, just keep finding these caves filled with granite blocks. At this speed, I can move 10,000 units of stone before dark, or even more than 10,000. Mo Fei's eyes flashed with excitement when he saw the stones moved out by the ant army. But at the same time, Mo Fei was also secretly alert. However, it's almost time to stop while we're ahead. If we continue to move, we're afraid that we'll alarm the wild monsters hiding in the cave. These granite blocks can't block the cave by themselves. The only possibility is that the wild monsters hiding in the cave block them in the cave. Okay, stop. Keep looking for a cave blocked by stones. Stop when you move 100 units of stone to each cave. The stones moved out by the ant army have exceeded 100 units, at least 120 units, Mo Fei ordered, just as the ant army received the order and prepared to evacuate from the cave. At this time, in Mo Fei's sight, inside the cave in front of him, suddenly there was a sharp whistle. Powerful sound waves rushed out of the cave, instantly blowing away all the ants in the cave. Many ants turned their bodies in the air for several circles and fell to the rocks on the ground. They were knocked unconscious. They couldn't move for a long time. At the same time, Mo Fei also received messages from several other ant tribes. They also encountered the same situation as the ant tribe in front of him. Many ant soldiers were blown away and stunned by the sharp sound waves that suddenly came out of the cave before they could evacuate. Fortunately, his ant tribe bodies are relatively resistant. These ant soldiers were only temporarily stunned by the sound waves. Even if they flew a few circles in the air and fell to the ground, their bodies were not seriously injured. A faint green light emerged from their bodies, and their self-healing talents were taking effect, healing their damaged internal organs. Mo Fei hurriedly gave the order, let his ant army evacuate first with the stunned ant soldiers. Just after giving the order, Mo Fei suddenly noticed something and looked at the cave. What is this thing? I saw the stone cave at this time. Granite blocks were pushed out of the cave. A wild monster with a pointed mouth full of sharp teeth slowly emerged from the cave. Its body size is not big, about the same as the first-level blue wolf that Mo Fei had seen before. However, this guy looks much more difficult to deal with than the first-level blue wolf. Its whole body is covered with thick armor like rock, from the mouth to the tail, including their body, all are covered with a layer of rock-like armor. Only the eyes are not covered with rock armor, but they are also covered with small rock-like scales. At this time, the two eyes of this wild monster are the size of mung beans. They are full of blood red, staring at Mo Fei's ant army angrily. Species, Stone Eater. Level 3. Introduction, a low-level wild monster that likes to grow in the Stone Mountain area, mainly eating stones. The higher the material of the stone, the more the Stone Eater likes it. Most adults are only level 3, but depending on the number of Stone Eaters in its population, they occasionally mutate into elite Stone Eater leaders of levels 4 and 5. The body of the stone-eating beast is covered with rock-like armor, which has excellent defensive capabilities. The hardness of the armor is related to the material of the stone they like to eat when they are alive. The harder the stone material, the harder the armor that grows on their body. Because of their powerful defensive capabilities, these guys are one of the few low-level monsters that the 4th and 5th level monsters are unwilling to provoke. In addition to the powerful defensive capabilities, the stone-eating beast has another capability. The armor on their necks contains a special sound wave organ. The sound waves emitted can easily shatter most stones, which helps them eat stone better. At this time, the information of the stone-eating beast appeared in Mo Fei's eyes. Seeing the information of the stone-eating beast, Mo Fei's pupils shook slightly. The 3rd-level monster, with powerful defensive capabilities, and the sound wave attack power that can shatter rocks, using rocks as food. In an instant, Mo Fei understood how these holes in the granite mountain came from. At the same time, Mo Fei also understood why his ant army found many stone caves. Some caves did not even have a piece of granite debris around them. Even if some caves like the one in front of him were found, which were blocked by rocks, the number of granite fragments in the cave did not match the volume of the cave. Because, all the stones that were consumed had already entered the stomachs of these stone-eating beasts in front of him. Chapter 54, the toughest guy the ants have ever encountered. No weaknesses. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. He saw this stone-eating beast staring at his ant army with an angry look. Mo Fei did not hesitate, immediately issued an order to prepare for battle to all the ant tribe encountering the stone-eating beasts. Soldiers, get ready for battle. Don't take the initiative to attack. Take your injured companions and evacuate slowly first, waiting for support from other legions. That I realized that I was in the ant army. Seeing this stone-eating beast suddenly appearing at this moment, many ant tribe soldiers were eager to try and full of fighting spirit. Mo Fei quickly added, at the same time, through the web of the mind, Mo Fei flew to the remaining ant army that had not encountered the stone-eating beasts, and gave the order to put down and carry the granite stones and support the ant army that encountered the stone-eating beasts first. Mining stone acid ants, acid army and slime ants. Mo Fei also gave them an order to stop mining stone and first support the ant army when encountering stone-eating beasts. There was one stone-eating beast in front of me, and it was about the size of a first-order blue wolf. But, don't look at it, it's just at this moment, in Mo Fei's heart, the importance attached to this stone-eating beast, it even exceeds the more than 100 piranha plants in the previous piranha territory. Mo Fei did not despise the stone-eating beast because of its small size. Like the stone-eating beast, the man-eating flower is also a level wild monster, still a different kind of level wild monster, but Mo Fei is not very afraid of the piranha, because it is easy for Mo Fei to know their weaknesses. For plant-type wild monsters, no matter how high the level is, it is difficult to get rid of their species characteristics. Piranhas are plants, therefore, of course they also have one of the most obvious weaknesses of plants. That's right, they can't move. For Mo Fei, no matter how big the piranha territory is, if they cannot move, then they will be a fixed target for our ant army. No matter how many piranhas there are, they will end up being devoured one by their own ant army. But, the stone-eating beast in front of me is different. Although it is only a level wild monster, in terms of danger, it may not be as dangerous as the 4th level elite wild monster Mo Fei encountered before, the king of acid mud monsters. However, it depends on the difficulty of dealing with it. It is definitely more difficult for Mo Fei's ant army to deal with it than to deal with the king of acid mud monsters. After all, although the acid ooze sprayed by the king of acid mud monsters is fatal to the ants, it can easily harvest the Mo Fei ants, but in essence, it is still a species among slimes. The defense capability is very weak. Mo Fei's ant army can easily tear into pieces the body of the 4th level acid mud monster king. And according to the information of this stone-eating beast, Mo Fei knows, although is a level wild monster, however, they have terrifying defense capabilities that are not afraid of 4th level or even level wild monsters. At this moment, the thick armor on this stone-eating beast is the best proof. The body of the stone-eating beast is covered from head to tail by rock-like armor, even their weakest spots, the eyes, are covered with thin, rock-like scales. There is almost no weakness in his whole body. And, according to the presentation, the hardness of the armor on the backs of stone-eating beasts is also related to the type of stone they eat. The harder the stone, the harder the armor they grow on their bodies. In other words, this stone-eating beast is wearing armor at this time, at least it is granite level and hard. Therefore, at this time, I have these first-order and second-order undead ant army. It is impossible to break through its defense and cause any damage to it. From this moment on, this stone-eating beast dared to swagger out of the cave in the face of its own army of hundreds of thousands of ants. Mo Fei also saw it. This guy relies on his abnormal defense power and is not afraid of his own ant army at all. Don't take your ant army seriously at all. So, I just gave the order, let your eager ant soldiers not act rashly. There are almost no weaknesses in dealing with this perverted defense. The method of suppressing quantity does not work. Only by bringing back the level ants that are mining stone, including army ants, acid ants, and slime ants, can we fight with them. And at this time, climbing out of the hole, I saw a group of weak ants taking away my food. The stone-eating beast suddenly looked fierce. You can see that the armor on both sides of its neck is slightly open, the 2 orifice-like organs vibrated rapidly, and another sharp sonic attack was sent towards the ant colony. Sonic attacks are another way for stone-eating beasts to save their lives in addition to their hard armor. When he was caught by many high-level wild monsters that were stronger than himself, the stone-eating beast will curl up its body to protect its relatively weak abdomen. At the same time, it will catch the wild monster and suddenly launch a sonic attack. This trick often works wonders, and it works every time. High-level wild monsters are usually thinking about where to attack at this time. If they are not prepared, they will be temporarily stunned by the sound waves. The stone-eating beast will take advantage of the time when the high-level wild monsters are stunned to escape back to their caves. In the deep cave, the power of its sonic attack will be strengthened several times. Certainly, sonic attack, for stone-eating beasts, not only can it be used to break stones and facilitate eating, but it can also be used to save lives. At the same time, it can also be used to deal with creatures weaker than itself. For example, now, but what the stone-eating beast didn't expect was, after its sharp sound wave attack, the 100,000 ants in front of it all had a faint green light full of vitality, and none of them fell down. All of them were still standing. In an instant, the stone-eating beast was stunned. Looking at the army of ants with green light on their bodies, slowly retreating, it couldn't understand. You know, generally low-level wild monsters, when facing its sound wave attack, they have almost no resistance. Usually they will be directly stunned. It is one of its food. Although the stone-eating beast's favorite food is various rare ores, however, it occasionally hunts some low-level wild monsters to change its taste, and now, these seemingly very weak ants, they actually faced its sonic attack. Under its sonic attack, these ants can still stand. Even, they look unharmed. How is this possible? The stone-eating beast still remembers that just now at the entrance of the cave, these ants were clearly blown away and stunned by its sonic attack. Chapter 55, The Network of the Mind Commands the Battle. The first cooperation between the ant tribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After all, it was just a third-level wild monster. The intelligence of the stone-eating beast was not high. when it found that the ant tribe in front of it could ignore its strongest sound wave attack. Its two green bean-sized eyes blinked vigorously. For a moment, the brain crashed. I don't know what to do. But Mo Fei, who saw this scene through the mind network, instantly figured out the key. Looking at the stone-eating beast that was stunned and stayed in place, while Mo Fei felt a little funny, he ordered all his ant tribes not to fight with the stone-eating beast, and to evacuate and gather together in time. Why did this happen? Mo Fei actually knew very well. Although the ant tribe that he failed to evacuate in time in the cave just now was blown away and stunned by the sound wave attack launched by the stone-eating beast, however, that was because it was in such a small space like the cave. First, the power of the sound wave was strengthened several times after rebounding. In such a small space, the sonic attack of the stone-eating beast can create a very strong airflow. My ants are so small that they will naturally be blown away by the strong airflow. Now, retreat to the open space in front. The stone-eating beast launched a sonic attack on its ant army again. Although it also caused some damage, it was much less powerful than in the cave. Of course, there is another key point. That is, the most outstanding thing about my ants is actually their sense of smell. Their hearing is not as sensitive as that of other animals. The way the ants perceive sound, it is through the tentacles of the front jaws, as well as the organs of the body and feet to perceive the vibration of sound. Therefore, compared with other animals with sensitive hearing, the sonic attack launched by the stone-eating beast causes very limited damage to them. At this time, after discovering that the sonic attack of the stone-eating beast caused limited damage to its ants, Mo Fei was relieved. He continued to order his ant army to retreat. It was the stone-eating beast. After discovering that his sonic attack seemed useless, he saw the ant army retreating. He immediately rushed over in a rage. In his opinion, he was wearing defensive armor and had a strong defense that even the 4th-level wild monsters could not do anything to him. Even if he did not use sonic attacks, these weak ants would not be able to do anything to him. Besides, if the sonic attack was useless, didn't he still have a few sharp teeth? He just didn't believe it. If he continued, these ants could still survive under his sharp teeth. The stone-eating beast was not slow. Soon it caught up with the retreating ant army. With a pointed mouth, the tongue rolled, and nearly 50 ants entered its mouth in an instant. At this time, 50 ants were eaten. The two small eyes of the stone-eating beast, which were the size of mung beans, suddenly lit up. It didn't expect that the taste of these ants was surprisingly wonderful. It was even sweeter than it imagined. At this moment, the stone-eating beast wished that its mouth could be opened wider, so that it could eat more ants at a time. Just as the stone-eating beast opened its mouth for the first time and rushed towards the ant army, at this time, Mo Fei in the territory finally breathed a sigh of relief, because, the 20,000 third-level ant soldiers who mined stone, 50,000 slime ants, 20,000 acid ants, a mixed force of more than 150,000 marching ants, and 400,000 undead ant corps, have arrived. At this time, in Mo Fei's sight, more than 100,000 marching ants and acid marching ants arrived first. As for the remaining 1.8 million ant army looking for granite blocks, through the mind network, Mo Fei could sense that they were also approaching this place quickly. In 10 minutes at most, all his ant armies will be able to gather together. Acid ants and acid marching ant corps, listen to my orders. Mo Fei took a deep breath and issued an order. Group 1000 and mix into the 4 undead ant corps next to you. Find the right opportunity, spray acid, and focus on attacking the eyes and abdomen of this stone-eating beast, these two places with weaker defenses. Break its rock armor defense. Undead ant corps, your mission is to cover the acid ants approaching this stone-eating beast. Mo Fei paused. You must be prepared to sacrifice at any time. When necessary. You must sacrifice yourself to save the acid ants. That the acid sprayed by the acid ants can corrode granite, therefore, only the acid ants can break the defense of this stone-eating beast. However, there are not many of them. There are only 20,000 acid ants and acid marching ants in total. Mo Fei knew the importance of these 20,000 acid ants in dealing with stone-eating beasts. Other ants can be eaten by stone-eating beasts, but they must not be eaten by stone-eating beasts. After all, there are more stone-eating beasts than the one in front of him. Let's not talk about how many stone-eating beasts there are in this mountain. let's talk about now. Mo Fei's ant army provoked 10 stone-eating beasts. After the acid ants mixed into the undead ant army, Mo Fei gave orders to the marching ants that reached the first and third levels, let them also mix into the undead ant army. The marching ants that mixed into the undead ant army have only one mission. When the acid ant's acid corrodes the rock-like scales on the stone-eating beast's abdomen and breaks through the stone-eating beast's defense, the marching ants should follow up with an attack, use their pincers to tear open and expand the stone-eating beast's wounds. Finally, Mo Fei gave orders to 50,000 slime ants. Slime ants, you also sneak into the undead ant army. Your mission is the most important, Mo Fei said solemnly. When the stone-eating beast raises its claws, you seize the opportunity and shoot the slime at its soles. As long as the soles of the stone-eating beast are stuck by the slime, its flexibility will be greatly reduced. In this way, the acid ants can spray acid to hit it more accurately. At the same time, the marching ants can also quickly climb its body and tear open its wounds. After arranging everything, Mo Fei's eyes were motionless. His eyes were fixed on the army of 400,000 undead ants approaching the stone-eating beast. Can he kill this stone-eating beast? Can he continue to mine the stones in the granite stone? It depends on them. If he fails, then he can only temporarily give up this granite stone resource that he has finally found, go to the misty forest again to find new stone resources. Will it take 1 day or 2 days to find a new stone resource? Mo Fei doesn't know, but, if his ant army really can't do anything to these stone-eating beasts and can't kill them, for the safety of his ant army, Mo Fei can only do this. Chapter 56 Perfect Coordination, Defeating them one by one. Evolved again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Mo Fei's life is at stake. More than 300,000 acid ants, army ants, slime ants and other high-level ant troops were mixed into 4 undead ant legions. The ant army, totaling more than 700,000 people, approached the stone-eating beast. At the same time, the stone-eating beast is feasting, savoring the delicious taste of ants in its mouth. Suddenly discovered, these weak ants didn't even try to escape. Seeing the sudden appearance of an army of 700,000 ants, the stone-eating beast was slightly startled. Then I was overjoyed. These ants are worried that they don't have enough to eat, so they take the initiative to give themselves extra food. Although at this time, the ant army suddenly appeared in large numbers. But the stone-eating beast is not afraid at all. These weak ants cannot even bite their own armor. No matter how many there are, it doesn't matter. It's not just about being your own food. Looking at the huge army of ants rushing towards him, the stone-eating beast immediately pounced. These ants taste pretty delicious. Therefore, it is prepared not to eat for days until its stomach is full. However, at this time, the stone-eating beast suddenly discovered that just as his body jumped up, several beams of liquid were suddenly shot out of the ant colony on the ground. It stuck to the soles of my feet. Landing again, the stone-eating beast quickly felt its physical condition. I found that these liquids did not seem to cause any harm to myself. A trace of doubt appeared in his little eyes, and he no longer cared about the liquid on his soles. About to take action again, at this time, the stone-eating beast suddenly discovered, I can't move my feet. It was firmly stuck to the stone. Before it could figure out what was going on, at this time, another ant in the ant colony sprayed 2 beams of liquid. Accurately hit the stone-eating beast on the abdomen. As these acidic liquids fell on the scales on the abdomen of the stone-eating beast, in an instant, only a sizzling corrosion sound was heard. The scales on the abdomen of the stone-eating beast are corroded by the acid and quickly dissolve at a speed visible to the naked eye. Even the flesh and blood under its scales were burned by the acid. While rotting, blood was shed. And when the stone-eating beast felt severe pain coming from its abdomen, in the ant colony, the army ants with huge front jaws were already waiting impatiently. They quickly followed the stone-eating beast's feet and climbed up its body. Several army ants took the lead, crawling along the stone-eating beast's belly and into its wounds corroded by acid. Without the wounds covered by scales, they quickly bitten into a big hole under their sharp pliers. 2 thumb-sized scales fell off from the stone-eating beast's abdomen as the army ants gnawed, and fell to the ground. The army ants swarmed forward. Under their bites, more and more scales fell off the belly of the stone-eating beast. Soon, the stone-eating beast discovered in horror. His abdomen was filled with ants with huge front jaws. What used to be a mild pain has now turned into severe pain. Ouch! Under the severe pain, the stone-eating beast wanted to lower its head and bite the ants biting its abdomen. However, he found that its limbs were still stuck to the stone, and it couldn't even curl up. Its neck has been stretched very hard, but he still can't bite the ant on his belly. Helpless, I can only roar. In the territory, Mo Fei is watching all this through the spiritual network. I finally breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, my ant tribe has added acid ants, a high-level unit of the ant tribe. Otherwise, I really don't know how to deal with a wild monster with strong defense like the stone-eating beast. As long as the acid can break through the stone-eating beast's defense, then it is only a matter of time for my ants to kill and devour this stone-eating beast. Mo Fei felt relieved, and this time, Mo Fei suddenly noticed that the scales on the neck of the stone-eating beast moved. In an instant, Mo Fei remembered that the stone-eating beast had another killer move. Sonic attack. Mo Fei quickly got down and let the army ants lying on the belly of the stone-eating beast divide apart and attack the neck of the stone-eating beast. Really, dozens of army ants have just crawled onto the stone-eating beast's neck. The scales on both sides of the stone-eating beast's neck were opened, revealing two small hole-like organs that emit sound waves. Before the stone-eating beast could launch another sonic attack, dozens of army ants rushed forward. The huge pliers bit hard on the two small holes on the neck of the stone-eating beast. The stone-eating beast let out a miserable howl again. Next, nothing happened again. When the army ants completely occupied the abdomen of the stone-eating beast, in just a few minutes, they had eaten all the stone-eating beasts. Only the stone-eating beast's armor scales were left as hard as granite. At this time, the ant army, which was being chased by a stone-eating beast, all gathered here. They brought a stone-eating beast. Mo Fei didn't dare to be careless. Command your own ant army again and repeat your old tricks. Under the protection of more than 20,000 ant troops, the acid ant colonies responsible for breaking through the stone eaters' defenses are perfectly safe. After losing a lot of immortal ant soldiers, Mo Fei's slime ants and acid ants are becoming more and more skilled in cooperating. Add to that the highly aggressive marching ants, and they killed the 8 stone-eating beasts one after another. As for the last stone-eating beast, after all 8 of its companions were killed by the ant colony, it finally realized that something was wrong. It turned around and ran away. This guy has strong defensive capabilities. If he is determined to escape, Mo Fei's ant colony can't stop him. It can only escape, and after killing 8 stone-eating beasts, Mo Fei's mind was prompted again. Your ant tribe devours the 3rd-level stone-eating beast, and the energy points increase. Your ant tribe begins to advance and obtain the talent of the stone-eating beast. Your ant tribe advances to stone-eating ants. Some of your ant tribes have full energy points, and the level is increased to the 3rd level. Some of your ant tribes have full energy points, and the level is increased to the 4th level. Hearing the prompt in his mind, Mo Fei was surprised. After devouring a stone-eating beast, the ranks of many ant soldiers were upgraded. In the ant army under his command, there was finally a 3rd-level ant, and the rank was upgraded to the 4th level. Of course, Mo Fei was most surprised. After devouring the 3rd-level stone-eating beast, his ant tribe advanced again. It became a stone-eating ant and gained the talent of the stone-eating beast. Mo Fei opened his troop panel. Army, stone-eating ant, high-level ant troop, final growth level, 5th level. Introduction. The high-level ant troop marching ant devoured the 3rd-level stone-eating beast and became a troop. The stone-eating ant has all the abilities and talents of the marching ant, with increased physical strength and a strong ability to resist sound waves. At the same time, it also has a unique talent, sonic attack. Sonic attack, one of the talents of the stone-eating beast, a special structure of sonic organs grows on its body, which can emit a kind of high-frequency oscillating sound waves. Window, _tabula equals window, _tabula dot push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target _type, mix. Chapter 57 Sonic Attack, huge improvement in stone mining efficiency. Free labor. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sonic Attack. Looking at the talent introduction of the Anteater on the troop panel, Mo Fei was slightly startled, then, his face showed a look of surprise. Unexpectedly, the talent obtained by the Anteater was actually a Sonic Attack. The Anteater's abnormal defense talent is also very good, but to be honest, what Mo Fei wanted most was their Sonic Attack talent. Mo Fei didn't expect that just after devouring 8 Anteaters, his marching ants actually obtained the Sonic Attack talent he wanted most. Sonic Attack, it can emit a very high-frequency oscillating sound wave. There is no doubt, this is a talent that Mo Fei urgently needs at present. With this talent, his ant tribe can mine the granite of this mountain like the Anteaters here. The efficiency of the ant tribe in mining materials will be greatly improved. Looking at the scene presented by the mine network in front of him, Mo Fei searched with his eyes. Soon he saw several ant soldiers in the ant colony that had upgraded to the 4th level and evolved into Anteaters. They were slightly taller than the 1st level marching ants. At the same time, they looked a little different. Mo Fei noticed that between the chest and abdomen of the Anteater, a strange part grew on both sides, with a row of extremely small holes on the surface. This should be the organ that emits vibrating sound waves. Thinking of the 2 small holes on the neck of the Anteater, Mo Fei instantly guessed the function of this newly grown organ on the Anteater's body. Mo Fei quickly learned the specific number of ants that evolved into Anteaters through sensing. There were a total of 214 Anteaters. This number is a bit small, however. Among these 214 Anteaters, more than 10 Anteaters have reached the 4th level. It is the highest level ant tribe among all the ants that Mo Fei has now. The level is 1 level higher than the 1st level Anteater. Moreover, these Anteaters are evolved from marching ants. They retain all the characteristics of marching ants, have sharp and huge pincers, an agile reaction speed, and are extremely aggressive. It can be said that, these 214 Anteaters are the elite among the elites of Mo Fei's ant soldiers. At this time, if these 214 Anteaters have strong defense against an Anteater that is much larger than them, Mo Fei dare not say that they will definitely kill the Anteater. However, it is not as easy for the Anteater to deal with them as before. After all, no matter how small the Anteater is, it is also a 4th level soldier. After evolving to the 4th stage, they have grown tremendously in terms of attack power, reaction speed, and strength. Moreover, they also have the talent of self-healing and the Sonic Attack talent of the Savage Beast. That is, they encounter a savage beast with abnormal defense. If they encounter ordinary savage monsters, such as savage wolves and savage black bears, maybe Mo Fei doesn't need to use the previous human wave tactics. These 214 savage ants alone can easily hunt them down. At this time, looking at these 214 savage ants, Mo Fei has a strange feeling. Their efficiency in mining materials, perhaps it can be compared with the previous 100,000 marching ants and acid ants. Even, maybe their efficiency is higher than that of 100,000 marching ants. Not in a hurry to verify the thoughts in his heart, he looked back at the mountain in front of the ant tribe and the countless caves on the mountain. Mo Fei raised his mouth slightly, revealing a sneer. Soldiers, attack. Target, the cave on the mountain. It's time to let these beasts see how powerful our ant tribe is. Mo Fei immediately gave the order, let his ant tribe army assemble, kill back to the cave that was found before and block the cave. Now, Mo Fei has 214 Anteaters. Among them, 20 Anteaters have broken through to the 4th level. These 214 Anteaters can completely play the role of restraining beast eaters in battle. As the main force to disturb the beast eaters. Mo Fei no longer worried that his ant tribe would be defenseless and suffer heavy losses like before under the attack of the scavenger beasts, prepared to defeat these scavengers one by one. As for whether there is a scavenger beast hidden in all the caves, Mo Fei does not know yet. However, the caves with bricks blocking the entrance must have scavengers hidden in them. Moreover, choose the caves with granite bricks blocking the entrance. While killing these scavengers, Mo Fei also collected some materials by the way. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. After killing 8 scavengers, Mo Fei now has more experience in the coordination between slime ants and acid ants. After ordering a part of the ant army to return to the cave of the previously killed beast, continue to carry the materials just thrown, and guard the materials. under Mo Fei's command, 500,000 ants found the cave of the beast that had just escaped. At this time, the entrance of the cave of the beast was blocked by it again with granite blocks, but it didn't work. Mo Fei directly ordered his ants to move the granite blocks blocking the entrance of the cave. Soon, the ant soldiers moved all the granite blocks at the entrance of the cave. It was different from the last time. Even though the ant soldiers moved all the granite blocks at the entrance of the cave, the beast hiding in the cave still did not make any movement. Even after the ant soldiers moved all the blocks at the entrance of the cave, Mo Fei also heard the sound of sonic vibrations from the depths of the cave. Obviously, the beast was scared. It wanted to use its sonic attack to shatter the blocks in the cave and dig a hole to escape. Hear the sound of sonic vibrations from the cave. In the territory, Mo Fei laughed back. Come on, Mo Fei was still worried about whether he could collect enough materials for 10,000 units tonight, now, after discovering that the beast was desperately digging a hole in the cave. Mo Fei was not in a hurry to kill it. There was such a laborer who helped him dig wood for free, so he would not waste it. Of course, for the sake of caution, to avoid this being just a trick of the beast-eating beast and being fooled by it, Mo Fei still sent an evolved ant-eating beast into the cave, to see if the beast-eating beast was really helping him dig wood. This ant-eating soldier, who reached the 4th level and was 1 level higher than the beast-eating beast, crawled into the cave. Not long after, it appeared at the entrance of the cave again. Reported to Mo Fei what it saw. The beast-eating beast in the cave was indeed desperately using sonic attacks to break the wood and dig deep into the cave. This guy was quite cunning. All the wood dug out was swept behind it by its tail and claws. It wanted to use this to stop the ant army outside. Hearing the report from the anteater, Mo Fei smiled. In order to help the anteater speed up the efficiency of mining granite, Mo Fei immediately ordered 10,000 to 20,000 undead ants to move the granite blocks, put more pressure on the anteater. In order to prevent the anteater from resisting, Mo Fei deliberately left 1,000 slime ants, 1,000 acid ants, and 2,000 marching ants to protect the undead ant troops that were carrying the blocks. In addition, an ant army was left to guard the entrance of the cave. In such a small cave, the anteater has almost no space to move, if it dares to resist. The mucus spit out by 1,000 slime ants can easily fix it. Therefore, Mo Fei is not worried about any accidents. What's more, Mo Fei also has the SSS level leader talent of the mind network. Once a situation occurs, switch perspective immediately, direct the army to fight personally. Chapter 58 Blow the Horn of Counterattack. I want both the ability and the stone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After leaving the ant army to guard the entrance of the stone-eating beast's cave, Mo Fei took over and switched the perspective to other caves full of granite blocks found by the ant army. After leaving the same number of acid ants, slime ants and marching ants at each cave full of granite blocks, Mo Fei immediately ordered, let his ant army start moving the granite blocks at the entrance of the cave. But they are all stones to be transported back to the territory later. Of course, not all stone-eating beasts, like the stone-eating beast that escaped before, have seen the power of Mo Fei's ant army. As Mo Fei's ant army unscrupulously moved the granite blocks at the entrance of the cave, soon, the stone-eating beasts in the cave were alarmed. When the granite blocks at the entrance of the cave were all moved away, one by one, the stone-eating beasts poked their heads out of the stone cave with anger. When they poked their heads out cautiously, they found that the ones who stole their food were just a group of weak ants. Instantly, the stone-eating beasts felt provoked and insulted. But before these stone-eating beasts made other moves, at this time, several balls of liquid suddenly flew from nowhere. The stone-eating beasts were caught off guard and had no time to dodge. Seeing these liquids flying, they simply closed their weakest eyes. The liquid fell on their eyes and their thick armor. Soon, the stone-eating beasts heard a sizzling sound. Then, their eyes felt severe pain. Severe pain, the stone-eating beasts roared angrily and became manic. The painful eyes could not be opened, and they became blind. I don't know what just attacked me. I want to retreat back to the cave. However, when the stone-eating beast was about to retreat back to the cave, I suddenly found that my body was stuck by something. I couldn't move at all. The stone-eating beast was terrified. Feeling the danger coming, I struggled desperately while using my talent, sound wave attack. The sharp sound wave lasted for half a minute. When the sound wave attack ended, the stone-eating beast finally broke free from the mucus. I didn't dare to stay at the entrance of the cave for a moment. I quickly curled up and turned back into the cave. However, not every stone-eating beast is as lucky as this stone-eating beast. Some stone-eating beasts struggled for a long time, but failed to break free from the mucus stuck on the stone wall. After becoming blind, after the sound wave attack ended, there was no way to save my life. In the end, it was devoured bit by Mo Fei's ants. Some stone-eating beasts were lucky enough not to have their eyes sprayed with acid by acid ants. It was lucky, but at the same time it was unlucky. Because the mucus of the slime ants had already stuck to its body, the second wave of acid ants spit out and accurately shot at its neck. Soon, the scales on its neck were corroded by the acid bit by bit, revealing the flesh and blood inside. Unable to move, it could only watch as ants with huge pincers climbed onto the wound on its neck. Then, it tore open its wound bit by bit and enlarged it. In the end, it was devoured bit by Mo Fei's ant army. And the blind stone-eating beast that fled back to the cave, Mo Fei did not let it go. When the third-order marching ants in the ant army crawled into the cave and deliberately made a sound, this blind stone-eating beast, like the first stone-eating beast, became a free laborer to help Mo Fei mine granite blocks. The panicked blind stone-eating beast sent out a shock wave, shattering the stone in front of it, trying to drill deeper into the cave. At this time, Mo Fei roughly figured out the law of his ant colony swallowing to gain power. Although the probability of his ant colony swallowing to gain power is not high, however, if the swallowed creature is stronger, the more flesh and blood his ant colony swallows, the more energy points it gains, then the probability of his ant tribe gaining power from swallowing creatures is actually equivalent to increasing in disguise. So, when swallowing these stone-eating beasts, Mo Fei only sent out his own marching ant soldiers. Moreover, the number of marching ants that devoured each stone-eating beast was controlled at 200. After the number of marching ants was controlled, sure enough, Mo Fei found that the number of his marching ants that devoured stone-eating beasts and obtained the stone-eating beast's talent increased. After devouring one stone-eating beast, of the 2,000 marching ants, 600 evolved into stone-eating ants. On average, one marching ant evolved into a stone-eating ant out of every 3 marching ants that devoured stone-eating beasts. The evolution ratio was close to an astonishing 3-to-1. Moreover, among the 600 evolved stone-eating ants, half of the stone-eating ants were upgraded to the 4th level. At this time, the number of 4th-level ants owned by Mo Fei had increased to 320. At this time, after seeing the number of ants that had evolved to the 4th level, Mo Fei's eyes flashed with a gleam of light. He finally knew how to cultivate elite soldiers among his ant tribe. That is to minimize the number of ants devoured. When the number of devoured ants decreases, for creatures of the same size and level, the amount of blood and flesh devoured by each ant soldier will increase. The more flesh and energy points they devour, the greater the probability of them gaining physical strength and the probability of evolution. At the same time, their rank will be raised faster. In the territory, after thinking this through, Mo Fei's eyes gradually became clear, how to cultivate his own ant army and make his ant tribe grow faster. At this time, Mo Fei already has a clear direction in his mind. Improving the overall strength of the ant tribe is certainly important, but cultivating an elite ant tribe is more important. An elite ant tribe that far exceeds ordinary ants in terms of rank and strength. Their role is not only to make Mo Fei's ant tribe have the power to fight against high-level wild monsters. Can't they help Mo Fei go out to hunt and kill high-level wild monsters, or protect the safety of the territory? Their biggest role, it is their existence that has raised the growth limit of Mo Fei's ant tribe. You know, when the level of the territory and other barracks buildings is raised, there is a certain probability that high-level ant tribe soldiers will be directly produced. Originally, the ant tribe that Mo Fei awakened was at level 0. Even if the level of his barracks is raised, the high-level ant tribe soldiers produced will only grow to level 0 in the end. However, because of the existence of the infinite devouring evolution lord talent, Mo Fei's ant tribe broke the shackles of the ant tribe's level. Now, among his ant tribe, the ant tribe with the highest growth level, their growth level directly determines the growth limit of the high-level ant tribe soldiers produced in the barracks. That is to say, among Mo Fei's ant tribe, the higher the existing ant tribe growth level, the higher the growth level of high-level ants produced by Mo Fei's barracks. If Mo Fei now has an ant that evolves and its growth level is raised to level 1, then, the high-level ant soldiers produced by Mo Fei's ant barracks may directly grow to level 2. Even, according to the level of Mo Fei's barracks, these high-level ant soldiers are at level 2 and level 3 when they are just produced. This is the greatest effect of Mo Fei's training of an elite ant army. Their growth level determines the overall strength of the ants produced by Mo Fei's barracks in the future. Chapter 59 Huge Harvest. The fog comes again, return to the territory. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. There are many more caves on the stone mountain. After killing 10 stone-eating beasts, next, Mo Fei continued to send troops to find the cave blocked by granite stones. The unwilling stone-eating beasts were either killed and devoured by the ant army, or they escaped back to the cave and became hard laborers helping Mo Fei mine granite. As more and more ants evolved into stone-eating ants, the number of granite stones Mo Fei collected was also steadily increasing. 6 hours passed, in Mo Fei's territory, from the time the ant army left until now, the cumulative number of ants produced by the barracks has exceeded 2 million. At this time, on the granite mountain, Mo Fei's ant army, which evolved into stone-eating ants, has reached 10,000 in number. And the granite stones carried by Mo Fei's ant army have piled up into a hill. At this time, Mo Fei ordered his ant army to retreat and return to the open space where the granite stones were piled. It's not that the stone-eating beasts on the stone mountain have been killed by the ant army, there are many more caves for stone-eating beasts. However, at this time, the acid ants and slime ants under Mo Fei's command had already vomited out all the acid and mucus in their bodies, not a drop can be squeezed out. Plus, it was already evening, the sun has gradually set. The forest has darkened. If Mo Fei stays here at night, accidents will happen, so, I chose to withdraw my troops. At this time, looking at the mountains of granite stones in front of the ant army, Mo Fei estimates that there are at least close to 30,000 units of stone. It has far exceeded the number of stones needed to upgrade the territory to a high-level village. Soldiers, work harder and transport these granite stones back to the territory. Then you can have a good rest. Looking at the ant soldiers who were already slightly tired, Mo Fei encouraged him with a loud voice. Today, except for the morning, the ant army returned to the territory to replenish their physical strength. In the afternoon, they were either on the road, fighting with piranhas in the forest and anteaters on the granite mountains, and carrying granite stones, basically no rest. At this time, quite a few ants were already exhausted and showing signs of fatigue. Yes, the loyalty of these ant soldiers to Mo Fei is the highest level of absolute loyalty. No matter how tired they are, they will not have any complaints against Mo Fei. No complaints either. They will strictly obey Mo Fei's orders. Yes, my lord, Ant Clan Jun replied, the voice is still loud. In today's 2 battles, the 2.5 million ants also lost some soldiers, about 3 or so. In the battle with the piranha, the ant soldiers basically suffered no losses. These 3 ant tribe soldiers were mainly those who went up the granite stone mountain and were eaten by the stone-eating beasts when they first encountered them. The rest was under Mo Fei's tactical arrangements. The ant army formed several groups and surrounded these stone-eating beasts in their caves. Basically no further losses were suffered. An ant tribe climbed up this hill made of granite stones, maybe 7. People lift just 1 piece of gravel, or dozens of people lift 1 stone. In addition, the hard armors of more than 200 stone-eating beasts piled next to the granite stones were also lifted up by the ant soldiers, then, set foot on the road back to the territory. Although tired, however, it is still very easy for the ant army of 2.5 million to transport only 30,000 units of granite and the armor of more than 200 stone-eating beasts. And under Mo Fei's order, it was still a group of approximately 30,000 army ants that took the lead, clearing the way for the ant army returning to their territory and exploring the nearby environment. The remaining 4th and 3rd level stone-eating ants, as well as 150,000 marching ants and acid ants, are deployed on the outermost periphery of the army, responsible for guarding and protecting the immortal ants transporting stone. In the forest, it was getting dark. Thick fog is coming again. This thick fog soon completely submerged the whereabouts of Mo Fei's ant army. But, luckily, Mo Fei's ant clan does not rely on sight to find their way. Instead, they rely on the scent they leave behind along the way. Therefore, even if the granite mountain has a long way to return to its territory, they can accurately find the way back. No matter how thick the fog is, they will not get lost. However, the dense fog completely covered the whereabouts of Mo Fei's ant army, and formed a natural protection for the army. Waiting for the ant army to transport the stone back to the territory, Mo Fei came to the grass, while letting the 2 million ants swallow their own breath and the spring of life, while opening the regional communication channel of the misty forest, see if any lord has mentioned that there are any dangerous wild monsters in the thick fog that need to be paid attention to, at this time. On the regional communication channel of the misty forest, dense fog is coming. Have all your soldiers returned to their territory? Of course, the fog is not too thick now. If you wait a little longer, you won't be able to see even your fingers. If you don't come back, you may be lost in the forest forever. It's over. My wild boar warrior went out to level up and hasn't come back yet. Could it be that he can't find his way back? The probability is that they are dead. What are you thinking? You know it's getting dark, but you still send soldiers out to level up. I just want to level up quickly and get more meat to exchange for resources. I haven't gathered enough wood and stone to upgrade the territory yet, and the territory is still a primary village. When I sent them out just now, I also told them to return to the territory before dark. Who knows what they encountered outside? They haven't come back yet. I guess they are dead. I'll take longer next time. I sent my knights to chop wood yesterday. The wood resource area is only about 2 kilometers away from my territory. I thought that even if there was thick fog, they would be able to find their way back to the territory at such a short distance. But the thick fog lasted for half an hour, and no knight came back. Not long after, I received a notification that my knight was killed by a wild monster. Huh, you are also a talent. What do you think of sending your knights to cut down trees? Are you willing for me? Don't you see where this is, a tropical rainforest? There are trees everywhere outside, and many wild monsters are hiding in the trees, insidious and cunning. My knights are really unlucky in this environment. Haha, that's right. The awakened soldiers are elves. In this environment, they are like fish in water. Today is the second day of entering the Lord's world, and the number of my elves has doubled. After a day of hunting today, I directly shot and killed dozens of first-level wild monsters and 7 second-level wild monsters. My Lord level has now been upgraded to the second level, and the territory has also been upgraded to a first-level village. It's so cool. Next, I plan to get more wood and stone resources, build a barracks first, let my elves have more, and then build a blacksmith shop to make better bows for my elves, and then, Mo Fei took a look. No one mentioned that the thick fog would bring other dangers. These thick fogs seemed to interfere with the sight and sense of direction of the soldiers going out, making them lost, so, they were a little relaxed. After all, as long as there was the smell left by the ants, sight and sense of direction were not important to their own ant army, because, if they followed the smell left behind, their own ant army could find their way home. Chapter 60 Lord rank first again. No, what do you high-level soldiers do? You are listening at MaleProtagonist. Under the devouring of 2 million ants, the water in the fountain of life, which had just been fully restored, was decreasing rapidly. In Mo Fei's mind, the reminder of the increase in energy points kept ringing. Finally, the 2 million ants completed the devouring evolution, and only 1,000 units of water were left in the 2 fountains of life. This also made Mo Fei sigh slightly. Fortunately, his fountain of life was upgraded to the first level, and the healing effect and storage of the water doubled. If it was only the 0-level fountain of life, it is estimated that now, all the water in the 2 fountains of life has been devoured, and it is not enough for the evolution of his 2 million ants. There are still 1,000 units of water left in each of the 2 fountains of life, and Mo Fei plans to leave it for the 2 million ant troops who will transport the stone back later. At the same time, the expectation for the general's territory to be upgraded to a high-level village is getting stronger and stronger. because, now, the 2 first-level life springs are only used to supply the 400,000 Ant tribe soldiers, which is already a bit stretched. Tomorrow, the 2 first-level barracks will produce more than 1 million Ant soldiers. In the future, the 2 first-level life springs will definitely not be enough for the Ant tribe soldiers. And upgrade the territory to a high-level village. Your territory can not only build more barracks and life springs, at the same time, the building level of the territory can be upgraded to the 3rd level. In other words, the first-level life spring can be upgraded to 2 levels in a row. In the future, the 3rd-level life spring should be enough for the ants to devour and eat. Mo Fei opened his Lord panel, Lord, Mo Fei, Strength, 4th level Lord. Energy points, 820,000/1,000,000. The energy points required for a 4th level Lord to upgrade to a 5th level Lord are 1,000,000, and now, Mo Fei's energy points, after killing the 3rd level man-eating plant and the 3rd level stone-eating beast and swallowing the fountain of life with his own 2 million ants, have reached 820,000. It's almost the same distance from upgrading to a 5th level Lord. However, looking at the 1 million energy points required for the upgrade, Mo Fei was also secretly amazed. It takes 1 million energy points for a 4th level Lord to upgrade to a 5th level Lord, then, the energy points required to upgrade to the 7th level and 8th level Lords are probably hundreds of millions. Then, the energy points required to upgrade to the King level and Emperor level Lords are probably astronomical numbers. According to killing a 1st level wild monster, the energy points obtained range from 1 to 5 points. After this, I am afraid that I will have to kill dozens or even hundreds of billions of 1st level wild monsters to upgrade to the 1st level. However, the higher the level of the wild monsters killed, the more energy points the Lord will get. Mo Fei figured it out instantly. This is the Lord world, which encourages Lords to kill high-level creatures in this world and encourages Lords to fight each other. Avoid Lords who are passively fighting for hegemony after their levels are improved. After the Lord's level is improved, only by killing stronger wild monsters can the upgrade speed continue to be maintained and not be left behind by others. Close the Lord panel. After confirming through the mind network that the ant army transporting granite back to the territory did not encounter any danger in the fog, Mo Fei opened the ranking list. At this time, on the Lord level ranking list, ranking of Lords. 1st place, Garbage Army Territory, Lord XXX, rank, 4th level. 2nd place, Thunder Lord Territory, Lord Chu Kuang, rank, 3rd level. 3rd place, Undead Scourge Territory, Lord XXX, rank, 3rd level. 4th place, Holy Light Territory, Lord XXX, rank, 3rd level. 10th place, War Elephant Kingdom Territory, Lord Lin Feng, rank, 3rd level. No, a 4th level Lord is ranked 1st again. Looking at his 4th level Lord, he ranked 1st in the Lord ranking. The Lords ranked 2nd to 10th in the ranking were only 3rd level. Mo Fei was dumbfounded. He took a look at his energy points, 820,000, and was only 200,000 energy points away from upgrading to a 1st level Lord. Mo Fei was even more speechless. No, other Lords, are you leveling up so slowly? You awakened high-level troops. You can't even beat a Lord who awakened low-level troops. However, if you think about it carefully, it's only the 2nd day of entering the Lord world. In addition, the day before, my ant tribe army successively took over the 2 territories of acid mud monsters and man-eating plants, and killed countless stone-eating beasts. Mo Fei was relieved immediately. Although high-level troops are powerful, but this is only the 2nd day of the Lord world. The number of troops of other Lords has obviously not increased much at this time. Unlike me, on the 2nd day of the Lord world, I can mobilize 2 million ant tribe soldiers to level up. In addition to now, the level of troops of my family is generally very low. The rank of high-level soldiers has not been upgraded yet, and many of their powerful talents have not yet awakened. Therefore, the leveling speed of high-level soldiers is actually not much faster than that of low-level soldiers, and the ants themselves, under the devouring evolution, have successively obtained the self-healing talent, the fog talent, and the ability to spray acid. The rank of many ants has also been upgraded to the 2nd and 3rd levels. With these 2nd and 3rd level ant soldiers, plus the terrifying number of their own ant army, it is no problem to deal with 4th level wild monsters. Therefore, their leveling speed, compared with high-level troops, it is not much different. In addition, their own ant tribe has an absolute advantage in number when dealing with wild monsters with a large number of wild monsters. For example, the quagmire of acid mud monsters and the territory of man-eating plants. If it were the troops of other lords, they would definitely not dare to go deep into the leveling when encountering so many man-eating plants. After all, their troops are not many in number and their levels are not high, their powerful talents have not been awakened. Going deep into the territory of 3rd level wild monsters, if they lose 1 or 2 troops, it will be a loss for them. Therefore, when the level of the troops is not high and the number is small, they can only find single wild monsters or places with few wild monsters to level up. But I don't have such concerns. After a day, Mo Fei actually lost nearly 10,000 ant soldiers in the process of leveling up. However, even if he lost 10,000 ant soldiers, now, Mo Fei's ant tribe, together with the newly produced ants in the territory, still has more than 4,100,000. Mo Fei can completely bear the loss of 10,000 soldiers. So, looking at it this way, Mo Fei really thinks that his garbage army territory is now ranked first in the Lord level ranking. There is really no problem. After all, in the early stage of Lord development, the advantage of high-level troops over low-level troops is not so obvious because low-level troops can make up for it in quantity. High-level troops can only gradually widen the gap with low-level troops when their level reaches level 8 or level 1 or above and their talents are awakened, because, for many low-level arms, the growth limit is also level 8. If you want to continue to increase the growth limit of the arms, without the help of other forces, it is almost impossible. Think about it, at this moment, Mo Fei couldn't help but look at his Infinite Devouring Evolution talent. Lord Talent, Infinite Devouring Evolution, level, SSSS level. Fortunately, I have awakened the Infinite Devouring Evolution talent. If I don't have the Infinite Devouring Evolution talent, my ant army, level 0 has reached the growth limit, there is no possibility of competing with other lords. Window_tabula equals window_tabula dot push mode thumbs feed 01 container tabula below article thumbnail 300x250 placement below article thumbnail 300 by 250 target_type mix.